Welcome back, guys, to my NFL Week 14 recap. Before I start the recap, I got this US Men's Dream Team 1992. I got this a number of weeks ago, but again, I thought I'll put it on and rock it. A lot of legends on this shirt, a lot of great athletes. But anyway, less of that. We're going to talk about the NFL week for week 14. We started off with the Thursday night game. It was the Raiders versus the Rams. The Rams are that desperate for a quarterback. Stafford's out for the rest of the year. Their other quarterback's injured. They're like, oh my god, we need a quarterback. So who falls on their lap? Luckily, a couple of days before this game, the Panthers like that Baker Mayfield. That whole thing we did in the summer, that was a bad business decision. We put him on the waiver. He got released. The Rams like, we need him. We need a quarterback. So he comes in, and the Rams win 16-17, and you had Derek Carr, who had 12 out of 20 throws, 137 yards. One touchdown, no touchdowns, one interception. Josh Jacobs had 22 carries and 99 yards and one touchdown. Then we had the Ravens versus the Steelers in a division game. Kenny Pickett though had a nasty concussion, so I'm hoping that he's okay and he's doing better. And Trubisky played the rest of the game, but the Ravens won 16-14. You had Najee Harris had 12 carries, 33 yards and one touchdown, and the Ravens are now 9-4. The Steelers are 5-8. Then we have the Eagles, who are coming into this game at 11-1 versus the Giants, who are playoff contenders. The Eagles get a job done with a shutout of 48-24. Jalen Hurts gets 21 out of 31 throws, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sanders had 17 carries and 144 yards. And AJ Brown had his 10th touchdown of the year. Again, just Hurts, Sanders, and all of the Eagles team is having a great year, and they continue to be 12-1 now. This team is just steamrolling this year. Then we had the Browns versus the Bengals division game. This is the first time that Joe Burrow has defeated the Browns. So I'm glad that he's finally got that voodoo over him, and he's finally defeated the Browns. The Bengals win 10-23. Deshaun Watson had 26 out of 42 throws, 1 touchdown. Joe Burrow had 18 out of 33 throws, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peoples-Jones had 8 receiving yards, 8 reps, and 114 yards. Then we had the Jets versus the Bills, and this was an AFC East game. You had obviously the Jets. Their defense has been great this year, and that's got them where they are now this year into playoff contention. Versus the Bills, who have been great. Bills are now 10-3, and Josh Allen had 16 out of 27 throws, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. And the Bills win 12-20. Then we had the Texans versus the Cowboys. This was I was disappointed that the Texans didn't hold on for a bit longer, but again, ultimately the Cowboys and the talent that they have ultimately prevailed, and they won 23-27. You had Dak Prescott get injured again. Another injury for Dak Prescott. It is what it is, but 24 out of 29 throws for Dak Prescott. He had 284 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Elliott had 15 carries, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. Then we had the Vikings versus the Lions. My Lions. Again, I want to do a little appreciation for my Lions. My Lions were 1-6 a few weeks ago. We're now 6-7 in the playoffs, we're in the wild card for the playoffs in the NFC North. Again, with this dumpster fire of a team that we have, I know we've got some good like defensive players like Kirby Joseph, and we have Aiden Hutchinson, and we have James Williams. On the offensive side of the ball, our offensive line needs work, and we need a quarterback. But for us to defeat a Vikings team that is coming into this game was 10-2, again, inject that into my fucking veins. And Dan Campbell, again, I said this last year. Dan Campbell needs the plays around him. He needs a better roster around him. He for what he's doing right now, he's doing better than he did last year. Like we only won like 4 games I think last year, maybe 3 games last year. And we tied the game in the last 12. Ultimately, we're doing way better this year, and we still didn't get that quarterback. We need to get a quarterback in this upcoming draft. Hopefully, we get Bryce Young. So I'm praying that we get Bryce Young. You had Cook, who had 15 carries out of 23 yards. And the Lions win 23-38, 23-34. Then we had the Jags versus the Titans, a division game. The Jags win 36-23. Trevor Lawrence had 30 out of 42 throws, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, and this was the Jags' first win on the road against the Titans since 2013. So again, even though that, Trevor Lawrence, I don't think he's the guy. I'm liking what Doug Pearson can do, and I'm interested in what they can do maybe in the draft in the offseason. Then we had the Bucs versus the 49ers. Brock Purdy started his first ever NFL game and beat Tom Brady. That's the first time a starting quarterback has started the game and beat Tom Brady while Tom Brady was starting the game. The Bucs, again, I said this last week, and they got away with it last week because the Saints the Saints were, them and the Bucs were worse. They was just 2 bad teams last week on Monday night, and they got away with it on Monday. On this Sunday, yesterday, they didn't get away with it, and ultimately the 49ers have a better defense. Offensively, they have Deeboy Samuel. I look at the Bucs. Okay, they have Mike Evans, but again, aging Julio Jones on the offensive line on the ball. Again, I don't like that offensive line that Tom Brady has. If you're gonna keep Tom Brady for another year, you need to have the cast around him. Okay, Julio Jones, but he's 33, he's 34. He's not the guy he was a couple of years ago. And Mike Jones is the only guy really in that offensive line that can do anything, like create anything really. And if he isn't, and he didn't do anything. So anyway, the 49ers win 7-34. Yeah, sorry, 7-35 and get the win. Then we had the Panthers versus the Seahawks. This was a sharp win, but the Panthers have been kind of quietly getting along their business. They're now 5-8. Steve Wilks has been steadying the ship since Matt Rhule's got his ass fired weeks ago. They win 30-17. Sam Darnold started for the Panthers. Then we had the Chiefs versus the Broncos. This was a division game, AFC West. The Chiefs win 34-28. Again, Nathaniel Hackett. This was one of the worst head coaching one of the worst appointments that a head coach that a front office can do. Nathaniel Hackett. He is not an NFL head coach. Like, he's maybe good at the offensive side of the ball, but again, I look at his offense like he's really good. But again, Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach. Yeah, that was a. But Mahomes had 28 out of 42 throws, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns. McKinnon had 7 reps, 112 yards. Pacino had 13 carries, 70 yards. Then we got the Dolphins versus the Chargers. Mike McDaniel versus Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley has been under a bit of pressure lately in the Chargers fan base, but he got the job done. You had Keenan Allen, he was pressing, he was rocking. He had a great pocket presence in this game, so that was a good thing. Tua had 10 out of 28 throws again. It wasn't a good game for Tua though. I thought that Justin Herbert had a way better game than Tua. Tua was really off it today. On Sunday, he only had 10 out of 28 throws, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. You had Herbert who had 39 out of 51 throws, 362 yards, 1 touchdown. Eckler had 15 carries, 4 yards, 1 touchdown, and Mike Williams had 3 reps, 116 yards and 1 touchdown. And the Chargers win 17 to 23. Then we had tonight's game, the Patriots, who are 6-6 versus the Cardinals, who are 4-8. Two teams that are Cardinals bad defensively, the Patriots are not good offensively. This match, again, why was this on primetime TV? Why? You had the Patriots win 27-17. Kyler Murray got himself injured. He was running the ball in the first quarter, and then he got twisted his ACL. So I don't know what the update on that is. I've just seen on Twitter it's a potential ACL. But I want to talk about. I said last week about the Sporting Cast, but I want to talk about the offensive core in New England. Matt Patricia. This guy calls himself a coordinator, an offensive coordinator. This guy has been. And again, it's not just him, it's Belichick as well, because what he's been doing in the draft. But Matt Patricia, he's doing all these bad play calls, and you see Matt Jones like, you fucking asshole. That was, he's cursing him out on TV, and then the announcer's like, oh my god, this shit going on. Yeah, well, he's a bad offensive coordinator. Like, this Matt Patricia, I don't know where the hell this guy came from, but the fact of the matter is that Matt Patricia's he's not helping the development of Matt Jones. This is his second year. He had a decent first year, but second year, you're supposed to have the weapons around him. Jacoby Myers was injured in this game, so he didn't play. But even if Jacoby Myers did play, would it have changed the Patriots? Because again, the Patriots have been really good this year, but they're 7-6. They're in a wild card. They're in the wild card for maybe a playoff place for that last seed. But the Cardinals are bad anyway. They're a scrub team. Cliff Kingsbury should be fired. I look at that Kyler Murray contract during the summer and like, was he really worth it? Because you look at other quarterbacks, like he's not worth more money than Mahomes. He isn't worth more than maybe Justin Herbert or anybody like that. In my opinion, Kyler Murray is a bit overrated. In my opinion, but leave you guys' thoughts on that in the comments. And that is it for this week. Peace.